Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's vlog. A slightly different format than usual. What happened is I was editing all the bits that I've recorded and I realized that the introduction I've recorded originally, which I actually recorded two different ones, completely forgot, but I've recorded the introduction and it didn't quite make sense simply because the plans have changed at short notice, and also it just wasn't summarizing the whole video properly. Slightly different format in the way that obviously I mentioned this. I'll try to link it somewhere if you've not seen it. I still don't know how this works. If I can link it as a card, I'll put it in the description below. A wee while ago, I've talked about the way that I wanted to reshape the channel for 2025. One of the things that I wanted to do is stop recording a full session at the allotment or a full session in the greenhouse. So I'm not quite sure that I want to do a weekly vlog, because some weeks I will go once, some weeks I will go 4 or 5 times. This week that's what it's going to be. It's roughly a week's worth of content that I will be recapping through this video rather than one single session. I think it will be a lot more interesting. Let's go. But the first thing I would like to do, I would just like to say a massive thank you for all the likes, the views, the follow, subscribe, the new subscriber, and the people that have already been subscribing for a wee while, and also all the comments. It's been incredible this week, and I'm saying that I'm sure a lot of people would be laughing at me just now because the datas are and the numbers are really small compared to the way I'm approaching this, if it makes sense. But to me it means the world. Last time I checked it this morning, I was at 39 followers or subscribers. Sorry, I keep saying followers. 39 subscribers, which seems ridiculously small, but to me it's, well, genuinely 37 more than I would expect. I held Tony at gunpoint and told him to follow me, so that's one. And my daughter insisted on following me, so that's two. As I've always said, I primarily record those videos as a way to keep up with my work, to have a bit of a journal of what I'm doing at the allotment and in the garden. But it's been incredible, and especially in the past week, I've literally doubled my count of viewers over 2 videos after posting just over a dozen videos. I think I was at 13 or 14 before then. I've tried to change a bit my recording style. I've upgraded the microphone as well. Nice Christmas present, which probably helped as well to get a slightly better quality, because the microphone I had was just very, very cheap and kept cutting off, and you can always hear the words. And I know it's already difficult with my accent to hear what I'm saying sometimes, so it's not helping at all. Most of my videos were, give or take, 10, 15 views, if even. The past 2 videos I'm at 300 views, and again, laugh if you want to. Laugh if you want to. I know it's nothing compared to some of the channel, even some with very low numbers, but to me it's just incredible. But yeah, I wanted to first of all thank you all for your support, and hopefully it's just the start of something bigger. If you feel comfortable, I would love to know roughly where you're watching me from. I've realized that throughout the season, obviously, I will be mentioning about, different sowing, planting, different type of crops that I will be growing. And I want to make sure that it's relevant. So I'm in zone 9B, where I am just now. But I know that not everyone is in zone 9B, and I would hate for you guys to actually follow my advice and think that it's gonna work. At least if you just give me your like the zone, the frost zone you're in, or the climate zone, sorry, that you're in, that would be really helpful for me to adapt the channel to this. That's me done. Thanks again, folks, and let's go now to the recap of this week. It didn't look quite as bad at this point, but it was actually really frosty. I got worse during the week, but obviously that was the start of it, and it was a bit difficult. Obviously the ground was frozen, which meant that was a bit difficult to remove some of the slabs, mostly, as you can see right here. There's supposed to be 3 of them, and they actually all 3 came up. One of them separated, and I had to hit them a bit to separate them properly. Afterwards, I just removed the slabs. It was a bit tricky again, but not as bad as the first 3 slabs. So we removed all the slabs and put some bark down. Unfortunately, we were short on bark, so it's literally all I could put on, and then I had to spread a bit thinly the bark that was already there. As you can see, we need to order some more, but for now, that will do. So the next job was to remove the many bricks buried in that part of the plot. As most of them were breaking apart, so we decided just to discard them, so that's why we're filling up those white bags there. The only one that we've kept, as you can see at the front, are the monoblocks, because they're all standard size. And since we are going to do a bit of a crazy path around the pond, we just got rid of the path on the other side that was also useless. Doesn't look like that, but it was actually absolutely freezing. So unfortunately, that was quite a short shift that day. That's literally all we've done, and we thought we'll leave it there. I had forgotten the batteries as well for the rotavator, so there was not much point to get any more of that job done. So we just left it there. As you can see, it's still frozen, and loads of bags of rubble to take to the skip as well. So keep us busy for a while. A few days later, it was time to start the dreaded job of cleaning and reorganizing the greenhouse. Very much a necessary job, but not something that I was looking forward to. Gave me an opportunity though to look out the strawberry runners. They don't look like much just now, obviously, because they're dormant, but yeah, we've got the strawberry runners for the allotment. So I raked all the leaves into a pile at the back of the greenhouse. The idea was to leave them there because they're still useful for the critters, you know, at this time of the year. So as you can see, there's a lot of algae and, you know, grim everywhere. And the glass is in desperate need of a good scrub to let a bit more light through, so that was the next step. I just used some clean water and a soft brush. That's a brush I use to do cars so it doesn't scratch anything. Just give it all a good scrub and then, you know, rinsed it out after. I'm not gonna lie, I was absolutely freezing at that point. Obviously it was about 2 or 3 degrees outdoor, and obviously the water was absolutely freezing as well, so it kept splashing me. I was just freezing cold. But after grabbing a nice hot cup of coffee, I went back inside and started emptying the greenhouse. It wasn't much fun. There was a lot of stuff to empty out. The idea was just to be able to access the glass. It looks much bigger actually when it's all empty like that. That's crazy. For the inside, I wasn't going to use the hose. That would have soaked the whole place right through, so I've just used a wee spray bottle like that, just sprayed a bit of water and use a cloth just to scrub it all, and then a vacuum cleaner, like a window vacuum cleaner, just to stop any streaks. I'm not overly precious, but it just, you know, might as well do the job properly. Makes quite a difference, so really happy with that. Fortunately at that point, it doesn't look on the camera, but I was losing light, so I had to just put everything back in there and thought I would just kick back the next day. A lot to put back, a lot. So everything was going pretty smoothly. I thought, great, I knew it was to be raining that night. It was really dark, you can see it on the video, but it was getting really dark at that point. I was probably about an hour past the sunset, so it was getting really dark. I thought I'm just gonna put the sewing, obviously, to protect them from the cold, and anything that will not recover if it gets wet, I'll put them back in there and leave everything else outside. Unfortunately, the wind picked up, and later on, I'm glad I put everything back in there, because later on during the night, it really picked up and we were actually in pre-alert for a storm. So it got really, really windy, and throughout the whole of the Monday, so the next day, it was super windy all day. So I've not managed to make any progress there. On the next day, on the Tuesday, it was actually half decent, rainy to start with, or wet, damp to start with, but it turned out to be quite a nice day. So we've been at the allotment with Tony, and we made quite a good few progress there. I don't have everything on tape, unfortunately. For whatever reason, there's a bit that I recorded, the file got corrupted, so I can't access it. But to be fair, you will be able to see it straight away. So there was a staging, you might remember, at the back of the greenhouse, at the side of the greenhouse. There was one of the staging, one of the bench, that was a metal one that was left there, which we were not too sure what to do with it, and we've actually measured it and thought it will do great at the back of the, like inside the greenhouse, but right at the back of it. So we've moved that back in there, sorted out a bit the space. There's still a lot of tidying to do in there and a lot of sorting out, but at least there's extra space for growing and for storing, so good news. Something else that we've managed to do, and I have the footage for this, is the bit that you've seen earlier from last week, where you removed all the bricks and everything. Well, finally we managed to get this ground rotovated and all nice and fairly level. So let's watch this out. So I started by removing the few slabs I had laid in front of the compost bin. It just gave me a chance to really rotovate everywhere and get the whole ground leveled as much as possible. I also wanted to relay those slabs that had been done very quickly, just dumped like that, so that was a good opportunity to get round to get it done. I ended up finding a small section that had some old flimsy weed membrane buried down. Bit annoying, it was falling apart, but I got pretty much everything out, so all good. And after a good rake over to try to level off the area, I started laying the slabs again. It's far from being perfect, but to be fair, I'm not overly worried about this. It's quite a minimal footfall anyway in there. It's really, the idea is to give a separation between the pond area and the bins, mostly so if any compost falls out when we transfer it over, it doesn't just fall onto the other side, which is going to have bark. So that's it, all nice and neat. The only thing that I still need to do is where you see that blue line here, I need to put edging, concrete edging, just to separate the two area. But this will be done next time because I've just run out of steam at that point, so yeah. So that's a wrap for this week, folks. Very happy with the progress made this week. On both sides, it's more or less work in progress, but it's good progress made nonetheless. The next step will be finishing the greenhouse, just so everything is tidy. I'm really in the mindset just now that I really want to declutter the place. It's a nice clean space and spacious space as well. That will definitely make a difference. So I think it's well worth getting that extra step. At the allotment, now that the ground is pretty much level enough anyway, we still need to plant the strawberries. I've got the blue line as well that's been put down. At this point I will be able to also dig the trench to put the edging to separate the growing space and that wildlife area. So that's the next step as well. Once this is done, really, the whole space is sorted out, the growing space is sorted out. All I need to do is top up with some more good quality compost or mulch, if you prefer, just so I can start the season with a good nutrient-rich soil. And then on the other side, it's going to be a case of digging the pond, shaping the area, putting the stepping stones, putting a few, wildflower areas, and that's pretty much it. Once this is done, we pretty much start the year, the growing season, just having to just focus on the growing. So that would be perfect. But thanks again for joining today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate a wee thumb up. That really helps the channel. And if you are not a subscriber yet, I would appreciate if you consider subscribing. And if you do so, or if you are a subscriber and have not ticked the bell, please do so. This will alert you when a new video comes out. In the meantime, folks, take care of yourself. Bye.